I went through quite a tricky sort of adolescence, and it was just, I needed to just change my life and just really go for my dreams, because I knew in my heart what I saw and visualized as who I wanted to be and what I wanted to achieve. And ultimately, like, the goal is to, you know, write songs that resonate with people, to heal them in some kind of way, because that's what I found like music done for me. So, you know, I listen to Bob pretty much every morning.
Really?
I'll ask Alexa,
Really?
play Bob Marley. Yeah, because it kicks me like into the day and sets my intention to have a good day. Obviously, it doesn't always work out that way, because life is life. But yeah, that's the ultimate goal. And I feel like because of the various life experiences I've had, I feel like a cat, and like I've had just so many different lives already. Like, my mum's a model and we lived in Canada, and her partner at the time was Nelly Furtado's manager, and like, I saw Nelly in her prime.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Street Culture TV.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Killa Kela podcast, live and direct, central London, or as central as you need to be, could be, choose to be, desire to be, subscribing and helping and sharing and caring and all that good stuff. We are thanking you. Over 600 episodes for you to indulge, absorb, and get right in the depths of the street culture landscape. Okay, people, our sponsors, the mighty GKNIFTYHEADS, have 10,000 play-to-earn GraffPunks NFTs to give away. Get ready as London's white trash goes blockchain digital with Bitcoin Cash tokens locked into them to claim. Get yourselves over to the website GKNIFTYHEADS.com and play to earn now. Wow, inside the house. It's a debut, no less. Yes, this lady has been scouring the street culture surfaces across the genres, collaborating with her father figure Congo Natty, but also the likes of DJ Vadim, Dub Pistols, DJ Mills, you name it, vocal prowess. Kaya Fire inside the house.
Blessed love.
First time
I
in the...
know, it's crazy.
What's your thoughts? What's your first emotions that are drawing out at the moment? I mean, you know.
I really loved that I walked into an exhibition. That was
Yes,
cool.
that's right.
I was like, oh, this is actually so awesome.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Big up the 10-foot crew. Big shout out to Fume and Tox that are inside the building right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. Your boyfriend is a graffiti fan too, right?
Yeah, like, he definitely showed me certain like artists that now I can't go anywhere without seeing their like tags. So 10-foot was one of them. Years ago, he showed it to me, and now I'll be in the most random place on the outskirts of England, like, and I'll just see one and be like, that's so funny.
What the fuck, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's such a big part of our culture, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And you know what as well? I think there's an aspiration for artists generally, you know, adopting the graffiti model. One thing I will say is that your name and repute has been over a very, what seems to be a short course time. Of course it never is.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're laying your tag down in a very specific way within the live and musical settings, which is, it's been a real great, you know, it's been the unveiling of an artist that is, you know, coming of an age of creativity. It's been wicked.
Yeah, it's been a really, really crazy, like, past 12 months. A lot has happened. Like, I've been doing music since I was, like, 13, you know, like, actively going and recording myself with friends or by myself or with family. And, you know, I was on stage with my pops from a very young age. By on stage with my pops, I mean, I would literally just grab the mic and be like, is this thing on? And then just go with it.
I'll just have this, thank you.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was fun, you know, and that was the way that I learned. I learned in the field. I learned, like, on stage with my dad, with Tenafly, with Top Cat, Tipper Irie, Daddy Freddy. There was a lot of artists that now that I've grown up and I'm a little bit older than 14, I can fully appreciate actually what I was living in, because at the time it's not that I didn't appreciate what was happening, because I obviously loved it, but I definitely didn't really know who everyone was, like on a deeper level. Like they were just my uncles or my aunties, or like what I would consider my family, you know, even though they're not blood. A lot of these artists like Phoebe, Nancy, Sister Martha, Lady MC, who is now Indigo Rain. You know, there's a lot of people that I grew up around that only now do I fully sort of understand, like, I was actually around some dons, some real legends.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is in-depth analysis right here, which is great. What weight does that carry on you as the next of kin, the next in line with that kind of history? Because that's one hell of a catalogue of, you know, these are high-class problems, obviously, but, you know, they're legends that are active, and not a lot of people get the opportunity to work alongside or know them so personally. Yeah. You're almost carrying a torch, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I'm very, very honoured and privileged to be able to say that I went on that journey with my older brother, Congo Dubs, you know, because it was just so nice to just have the foundation of it being so family orientated, but then to break away from, like, not break away from my pops, like I don't work with him anymore, but to break away and really truly become my own artist and really stand firm as Killa Fyah on my own merit has definitely had its ups and downs, you know, because it's actually a lot so more my internal dialogue of, like, you know, my dad's done such a legendary thing, you know, will I ever, like, amount to that? But then I had to get myself out of that headspace, because it's not about that. It's just actually about doing what feels right to you, and then hopefully people resonate with that, and then you'll have a different, the memory of you as an artist will be completely different to the memory of what people might have of my pops. And that's just kind of something that's been happening mostly over the last year, because I had a beautiful team around me. You know, Jesse G Shells and Ed Solo really took me under.
Ed Solo's a don.
Yeah, they really took me under their wing, you know. And I had a lot of projects that were, like, incomplete. And initially, I met Ed and Jess through working with MC Det. And again, MC Det is someone that I love and respect like family, you know, like, and the fact that he wanted me a part of his project with Martial Tactics was something that I was quite blown away at the time, because I was just like, oh, that's really cool, because, you know, that's what I wanted to start doing, is working with these people that I was around, or that, like, inspire me, but I never really had the confidence to say it out loud. So I was just, like, lurking in the background, just kind of, like, you know, performing and stuff and doing my own thing, but not really asking people like that, or, do you know what I mean? Just trusting that will come in time, and when I'm ready, those opportunities will arise. And so, yeah, initially we were releasing something with Jungle Cakes, which was an EP called Don't You. And that's how I met Jess and Ed. And then after that, it was really full on, because Jess basically heard, like, all the music that I hadn't released and was like, right, well, we're going in and we're doing this. Because I said to her that I really, like, my big dream would be to release an album, because it would honour 30 years of my life and 30 years of Jungle, which is what I did last year in November. But to get to that point of, like, getting it all finished and stuff, I needed them. It would never have got done without them.
Well, it's all the sum of the parts, right?
Yeah.
And I guess when you're going through these processes in your head, you know, and all the... I guess there in a dialogue can be quite... there's a sense of turmoil there, because you're coming from a stable, and you almost want to, I would imagine, in part, go your own way. And when you're given these opportunities, but you've already got a kind of level of competency in the foundations and how that thing works. I mean, what a beautiful moment where all of a sudden, you know, you blossomed into a place where it's like, I'm good. Yeah. And these guys are on it, I'm on it, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And it's almost like two different for Killa Fyah. Yeah.
No, it's been very, very beautiful, you know, like, initially I was in a collective called T3, which basically just stands for the Trinity of Freedom. And it was, the very, very core was myself, Isaac and Junior Baptist. And we'd done a lot of tunes, and that's sort of how DJ Vadim kind of wanted to get involved because he saw myself and Junior do a set at Brixton Jam. And
Was this
well as me and Jesse.
This was an anniversary, right, of that Brixton Jam? Was it Brixton Jam?
I think so. I think it was some sort of anniversary. But that's how that initial conversation happened with Vadim, and then that's how I now know Speaker Louis, and like there's a couple of tracks on the LP that are DJ Vadim and Speaker Louis, sort of featuring T3, so featuring all the collective. You've got Concreature in that, Aishen. There's a lot of artists that I really wanted to be a part of this project. There's so many artists that aren't a part of it that should have been a part of it, you know, that there needs to be a part too. Because, as I say, like to get a body of work to completion, we had to just work with what we already had, you know, and we already had a lot. But there's artists that, you know, I'm just really wanting to work
Still
with
gunning
now.
forward to do stuff with. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expectations, particularly when working with so many artists and trying to formulate a bit of a sound and a thread into a project. How did you manage that? Because obviously you've got the soundscape of the more earthy, rootsy, dubby, the current sound of now that is intertwined in what you want to try and get across, but you also want it identifiably you. Yeah. So how did you mold that with so many guests and etc.?
The thing is, I to be honest, like do so many different genres of music. Like I'm also in a band as well, and we do jungle live, but it's very rock elements. Like, so
we like that, by the way, on this podcast. Yeah. Come on, thumbs up, you know it is.
Yeah. So I think I don't know how I would keep it sort of my sound. I think I just do me, and then hopefully that kind of bleeds in. It's interesting when you speak about yourself. It's really hard to speak about yourself, but like people do say to me, like what they said about the LP is that they've listened to it the whole way through, like with the intro and the music and the tribute and the outro, you know, and the general consensus is that people are listening to the whole album and that it's a real body of work that really showcases.
It's the biggest appreciation you could be given.
Yeah, so with that, I guess there must be something within that people are feeling that makes it me, but I don't particularly know what that would be, how to put my finger on it, but I guess my influences are very heavily jazz and rock, like, and reggae, of course. But if I'm talking about my own thing, my personal thing, it's jazz and rock. But then when I talk about my mother's influence and my father's influence, my father is very reggae, on the rootical side of things, and then my mum is like more R&B and Sade and you know, so there's a lot going on there inside my heart when I'm writing music, and a lot of it's to do with like self-discovery and finding my feet, because I'm like nearly 2 years sober now. And
congratulations.
Yeah.
Celebrate that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So a lot of it is about that, but not blatantly obviously saying that. But I went through quite a tricky sort of adolescence, and it was just, I needed to just change my life and just really go for my dreams, because I knew in my heart what I saw and visualized as who I wanted to be and what I wanted to achieve. And ultimately, like, the goal is to, you know, write songs that resonate with people, to heal them in some kind of way, because that's what I found, like, music done for me. So, you know, I listen to Bob pretty much every morning.
Really?
I'll ask Alexa.
Really?
Play Bob Marley, yeah, because it kicks me, like, into the day and sets my intention to have a good day. Obviously, it doesn't always work out that way, because life is life, but yeah, that's the ultimate goal. And I feel like because of the various life experiences I've had. I feel like a cat, and like I've had just so many different lives already. Like my mum's a model, and we lived in Canada, and her partner at the time was Nelly Furtado's manager, and like I saw Nelly in her prime, you know, when she was doing I'm Like a Bird, and I watched it with my own eyes, like the whole thing. And so I've had that, and then I've had my pops and underground, and you know, mysticalness, and like
You've been born into the game.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy because it's like two worlds, and I've experienced them, and I've also crashed and burnt in my own personal life, and then I've come out the other end. So it's like, there's been a lot.
Told you this was going to be a sick podcast. Talk about childhood, growing up. Talk to me about that.
I had an interesting childhood. I really have this odd thing where I remember distinctive moments from like the age of 1. Like it's very strange. I don't know what it's called. Like there must be a name for it because. But I have like vivid memories.
The Kaya Kodak moment.
Yeah, like I fully remember like being on my dad's lap and him billing tunes and from as young as 1, and just like, so that's why when I enter a dance, like when I used to enter a dance, it's not always the case now, which is a bit of a shame because it's changed. A lot of the dynamic of going to these raves has really changed, and I think the frequency as well, and just the general vibe, you know. But when I used to go back with my pops, and I used to be religiously going to these raves, like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, I was in the dance. Wherever my dad was, I was there. And I would go in and, like, you know, I would feel at home because I feel like, because I was literally a jungle baby in his arms when he was billing tunes and beelines and stuff, like, it's sort of nostalgic, you know, like every single time I would go to a rave.
Mad.
Yeah.
Mad.
Mm-hmm. So that's, like, my one side with my pops, and then, you know, with my mum, it was really interesting because, as I say, she's a very, like, lavish, just incredible human being, and we've had some insane life experiences growing up. Yeah, like living in different places like New York and Canada and South Africa, and just travelling with her a lot. I was actually a child model as well.
Were you?
Yeah, I was on like catwalks and stuff as a kid. Yeah, Diesel and.
You know what? I had a bit of a stint of that as well. It was really, you know, it's hard. Someone's got to do it. You know?
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How do you process something like that? Over, like, I mean, it was a given, isn't it? Like you're saying that you mentioned the frequency of the rave, of the clubs. I think there is something to be said about that now. You know, people want, it's almost like an appropriated version of what rave is now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's mad. Like back in the day, you know, who was I talking? I can't remember who I was talking to. But, you know, the idea of like, you know, a crackhead drunk on a Sunday and metalheads in Blue Note, that's kind of the highlight of the, you know, but, you know, promoters don't want that anymore. They don't want the low tones. Even though nothing's gone wrong, nothing's going on, they just don't want it.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's like, I have a tune called Jungle's Name, and in my heart, that tune should be big. That tune should be massive because of the amount of conversations I have with people that
Feels
tune,
like,
like, you know, it's basically just the hit a line is stop using Jungle's name in vain, because what I'm trying to understand is how people are releasing music with, in brackets, jungle mix, and it's literally not jungle in any capacity. Like, it's like this screechy, very, like, it's just not jungle. And it's the same thing with, like, jungle in room 2, and then you go in and it's like sounds. It's just sounds. It's like, I really don't understand it, and, like, you know, each to their own, and it's not that, you know, that music shouldn't be heard, because quite clearly a lot of people love it. But I just think, like,
it's not
just
jungle.
call it what it is instead of calling it jungle, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's just kind of like my big being the bonnet, because I just want to go to a rave and just be like, you know, feeling it, and I want to leave feeling like my tank is full again. Because I used to say this to my pops. I used to say, oh, Dad, I was feeling really down all week, and, you know, I come on Friday and I'm feeling better now. And he'll be like, yeah, like, bless up, boobs, and all this kind of stuff. And now it's like, it's so, I'm not I'm not like thinking, oh yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm thinking, I hope that at least at some point of the night I hear some good music.
Just play some jungle.
Just play some jungle.
Play some jungle, man.
Please.
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 Yeah.
So
Do
big up
what
any
says right
jungling girls, because like I'm rating their stuff. I'm rating like the fact that I don't know if you've heard of them, but Aries is working with these two girls at the moment. Any Jungling Girls is their name, but
Okay.
they actually play jungle.
Really?
And I'm
Proper.
just like, yes,
Yeah.
love you guys. Like, sent them my album because I was just like, I just want to give you appreciation because, you know, that's what I really truly miss.
Have you used the crown on the head? The idea that you're so well versed for the age that you are in telling the difference. That does come with its own turmoil, doesn't it? It comes with its own, you know, because you know what's valid, you know what's right. Frustratingly, it doesn't work out like that.
Yeah.
Or you're not listening to the right thing. It's unauthenticated. It's frustrating. And then you retaliate with your own music. And then you have these conversations on podcasts.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's such a cycle. It is.
Yeah.
It's an echo chamber of your own, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think probably mainly the reason why I'm so sensitive to the sound is because I'm sober, you know, and whereas before maybe it was evolving and changing around me and I never really kind of felt it because I was just immersed in getting mashup basically, but I don't know. I don't know. I think that it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both things, but I think ultimately it's really changed. And like obviously there are some great artists making some great music. That is like no shadow of a doubt. But I just think that this culture of like wanting people to be jumping up and down in the air in your video because that looks better, it doesn't actually kind of. It's not, you're not, I don't know, like, it's not really filling your heart with happiness, you know? I'd rather someone be, like, a little bit more still and, like, grooving like that because they're feeling it than jumping up, like, do you know what I mean? Because then, like, they're not really listening to what you've got to say and, you know, it's just about...
Do you think that's part of the some music at the moment? Is it becomes a soundtrack to people's, you know, selfies and
Yeah,
TikToks?
I think that might be a little bit to
I think
play.
it extends more than just jungle. I think.
No, totally. I think that I mean each their own again because I have friends that blatantly don't listen to lyrics, and I'm like, but how do you not? Like, how do you not do that? How do you not like when something's playing? How does the lyrics not be the first thing? But everyone has their different thing. Like obviously, my partner's as a producer, so he naturally goes to the production first.
Inherently,
Yeah, and so I guess because I'm a vocalist and a lyricist, I'll go to the vocals and I'll proper hear out for like what layers are in there and stuff like that. And that's sometimes what makes the tune good for me because like the beat could be not that great, but then what they're saying and the passion and like how they've done it, how they've laid it up, I don't know, like that's what makes me like it. Yeah,
100%. You mentioned rock and jazz. Let's get into that. So, what your influence? Some more names for you. What influences you? On a regular outside of Bob Marley.
When I was living in Canada, when I first moved there and I was 7, I had like a little CD player in my bathroom and I only had like 3 CDs and one of them was like a jazz compilation of like jazz artists. And the one song that really stuck out to me and made me truly look in the mirror, and it's my first memory of truly knowing that this is what I want to do. It was me like looking in the mirror singing Crazy by Patsy Cline. Yeah, and it was just like I just loved the way that it was like a story. I like the kind of theatrical side of it. There was a point where I thought maybe I could be in musicals or something.
Nice.
You know, because I like the theatrics of it all and like I don't know, that whole being on the stage of the show. And so just imagine like when I would be singing these jazz tunes, I'd just be imagining myself with the red light, you know, in the jazz cafe or whatever.
Oh, you creative, you.
Yeah, that would be
that
was my first
Big that
thing.
up.
But you know, my rock influence again came from Canada, really, because it was a Rolling Stones album that I had, and then I was like really into like pop rock. Like I was really into like Simple Plan and like all these like quite depressing pop rock,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
know
where
that,
it's just like, yeah, my life's shit, basically.
My Chemical Romance and things like that.
Yeah,
That kind of thing?
yeah. But it was, I just loved it. I loved the Avril Lavigne era, and then that bled into when I moved back to England. I had a friend who introduced me to the Smiths, and like then.
Oh, you can't just say that name without a bump. They're my Bob Marley for you.
Right.
I listen to them religiously in the morning.
Yeah.
It's just my go-to straight Smiths.
Yeah.
No messing about.
Exactly. So like, and so then I got like really like into, and I think I love the age and the timing of music throughout my age, specifically because when I was like in year 8, that's when like the Kooks became really popular and like all the like sort of British indie music.
Yeah,
and,
really editors and bands like that, and Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah.
And
And, you know, Arctic Monkeys back in the day and like all that. And so we were really
Strokes.
living in that Skins
era. Yeah.
We were the Skins era, you know, like we would be going to the fields and we found this bunker that was like obviously a war bunker that someone had like shoved a sofa down, and that was our hot spot, you know. We would fill up the bathtub with wood and like set it alight and just chill listening to like all this indie music and
Yo, this is crazy. You
and
know,
also grime.
This is great. This is great. Yeah, grime, of course. Grime is a part.
Yeah,
But
because that's what you used to have on your phone.
When you say Skins, this is the best bit about podcasts, is that it takes me back to an absolute era.
Yeah, it was
in
an era.
time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The burgeoning like grime scene, which was kind of arguably a bit of dubstep, still kind of fidget housey almost, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I love that. That was my like, you know, in like teenage years where we had our Sony Ericsson or like our LG chocolate, and we were like sending each other tunes and, you know, playing it at the back of the bus, like pushing it on the window to get more volume and all that kind of stuff.
You know, where were you in 2003, 2004? Just get with it.
Yeah.
Just get to know.
Yeah, yeah.
Samsung. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. LG. MySpace? No,
Yeah.
still early. Was that
Yeah, no, I had MySpace. Funny enough, my MySpace song at one point was like an old school Justin Bieber thing.
Was it?
Yeah, I had the Bieber fever at one point.
Bieber
definitely.
fever.
Yeah, I just, again, it was because of how talented his vocals was. You know, like it wasn't necessarily that whole like, I love Justin Bieber, like, you know, the typical reasons. It was genuinely because I felt like he was such a talented person, and he was, and at the time that I was living in Canada, we spoke on MySpace.
For real?
Yeah, because obviously Chris is Nelly's manager, and it's all very intertwined.
Of course.
Da 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 da. So it's just years ago. He would never remember.
Your career is littered with things like this, where it's almost just like passé, or rather, it's just a passing fleety comment like that, which is just like, man, because you're just so knee deep in it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost these become like not givens. That's the wrong word. It just happens that way for you.
I love that you say that, because the thing is, I think like the amount of stories I could tell you about like the timing of the experiences I actually had when I was with Nelly, it is quite surreal. And, you know, little things like I was in a backstage room one time, and I walked in, and it was just like all these, I think it was like Puff Daddy, Drake, who was in that room? There was just mad artists, and I was just like mad artists, and I was just like, Pharrell Williams was there that day, Lily Allen. It was something to do with the princes. It was their Prince Charles. It was his like event or something.
Of course,
so
because
there
they're
was loads of
Commonwealth, right?
artists
So
there.
it's, yeah.
And I accidentally just walked into this room with like loads of these like elites, and I was just like, right, shut the door.
This is crazy.
But they were like, no, come in, and you know, like, and I was like, hi everyone. Like Justin Timberlake was there. It was mental. So as you say, when I think about my life, only in the last 5 years have I really, really thought to myself, it's actually been a real big blessing, the fact that I've been able to experience the experiences and been around certain caliber of artists on both levels, on like the mainstream side and the underground side, because I've really got quite a good understanding of like what the two worlds are like, you know. So how would I want to be as an artist, and where would I fit, and how would I like to be? It's been quite good market research.
and the only one that can do that market research is you. Yeah. Because you're the only one with the experience. I think a lot of artists, particularly artists my age, we go through this when you come out the other side of what could be, you know, a slump, which, you know, happens in a lot of careers, right? But what tends to play out is you have a self-review, just to kind of recalibrate on what it is and where you want to go. You're essentially doing that in real time. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Constantly recalibrating, figuring out, because up until this podcast, and I dare say for at least 75% of your fans and followers, they wouldn't know half of this. No. That's madness in itself. Yeah. Yeah. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. And you're constantly having to evaluate that and almost like funnel it through in a way that is authentically your design and creation. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And do you know what? Like, I have so much unreleased music that is so different, so left field, so many different variations of who I am, and like at the moment I'm just trying to just navigate on like just being confident in my other genres, or like being confident in being like no, that's good enough, you know. And so what's in like the rockcore, you know, whatever. Yeah, like I've got some projects that haven't been released yet, but are looking to be released within the next year. I'm working on like the release plan and stuff like that. But it's like this scary thing of like, you know, not everything I'm going to release is going to fall under jungle or is going to fall under drum and bass. You know, that is definitely the foundation and the core of who I am due to my pops, really. But there's so many other doors that I want to go through, you know, and I just want to experience music. I don't ever want to... I hate to say don't want to take it seriously, because that's not the right thing to say, but I don't want to ever feel like I have to be this specific thing. So... Well, your pops was kind of testament to that, because he was Rebel MC, then he was kind of going natty. Right? Yeah, yeah. You know, these are you know, as artists, we should be shapeshifters of genres. Exactly. I mean, Isacha is a good example. Isacha is someone who I worked very close with. He's one of my good friends, and we did a lot of music together. But he's recently changed his name to Submatic, and he's doing like a completely different thing now. But still bad boy. So yeah. You could just evolve and change and do different things, and I think ultimately I'll always be Kaya Fyah, but there'll be different variations of the Fyah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And without putting too much weight on your shoulders, I'd also say, you know, your appearance, the look, your demeanour and character, you know what I mean? It kind of, maybe it's just this particular day, but it's got a TLC kind of, like, the whole kind of, you can do whatever you want kind of thing. I'm trying to think of artists that actually embody that. Maybe Fergie, because she gets into like some rock and metal stuff as well. Yeah, I love Fergie. Do you know what I mean? Fergie was one of my am I hitting the money there? Yeah. Yeah, Fergie and Gwen 100%. Were like my two favourites at one point. Yeah. And they both do all the genres they want to because they're the central brand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just love both of their style, especially Gwen. 100%. I just think Gwen's a don. She's just a don. Yeah. She keeps on. Yeah. She just looks great. Yeah. Vibe's good. Always energy. And she comes from that ska background, but you know she can rock out. But she does the rap thing, but she does the thing. Exactly. Same as Fergie, same as a lot of a lot of that sort of thing. Perhaps, you know, again, without putting too much pressure on one's shoulders. Yeah. I think you've got the vision and foresight. You know your history and where you come from and where you're going. It totally tallies up with the experiences you've had. So why not throw it up? Send each project up the flagpole and see who salutes it. Yeah, I mean, like, the LP that I've just done, like, as you say, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but, like, just to break it down, the artists on that are my dad, Conga Naim, Skinny Man, Vadim, Kabir La Amlak, who is
the most like incredible dub artists. Like, you need to check him out. And got Junior Baptist, Isacha, Ed Solo, Speaker Louis. Did I mention him? Who else is on the? Did I mention Skinny Man? Yeah. There's just Top Cat, Maxine Scott. There's just like a lot of
What a variety,
UK, like, I don't know, it's a
Figureheads.
lot, yeah.
The figureheads.
Yeah, it's a unity project. It was a really like big unity project, and it's really funny because Skinny Man is like my partner's like favourite artist on the planet.
That's my brother, Skinny.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
And we went to go see Skinny Man a couple of times.
He's incredible. Do you see him at Scala? Did you see him at Scala show?
No, I didn't. He did do Jungle Town though with my pops, and I was on that same lineup with T3 at Fox and Firkin.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of where this idea kind of stemmed from. But yeah, one time I was sitting there and I was just like, I'm just going to call up Skinny Man and I'm just going to ask him to feel the tune. Da, 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 da. And Jacob was like, he's never going to answer. He's never going to answer. And it's like one of like our little inside jokes now that like Skinny Man actually answered to Tone. Because my name's Tony Carr. Like, he loves telling people that. He's like, yeah, one time she was like, I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him. And I really didn't believe her that he was going to answer the phone. But yeah, he did. Yeah, Skinny Man's a cool guy.
Skunga. I love you, brother.
Yeah,
I love it.
Cool guy.
Yeah. He's a serious
And he's
cat.
just a legend, and like I'm very privileged, and I feel really like over the moon that the people that are on that project are on that project.
Very good. So that's the future then.
Yeah.
Any more future things?
Future things. I've got a release coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's a tune called Pray, and it's with Joey Illa and Ed Solo under
Send
Super
that up.
Subs.
You know what it is.
Yeah. So we're just we're getting that dealt with at the moment. Just that's where I'm going after this,
Nice.
just to go tie up loose ends. And that song is truly about someone like not believing in you. In my case, it was a specific family member who shall not be named.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was. I just had this hunger inside of me when this particular person just said to me that I should quit music because I'm not good enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Liberties.
And I just went into the studio that literal day, and I was just like, then you have to just remind them who you are and what you're gonna be. Pray. Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah,
Get it in.
because the next bit of the lyrics is, there is magic in the timing. Never doubt what you believe. Pray. Not only glitter will be shining. You just wait and see. If it's meant to be, then it will be. Our destiny is written in the stars.
Wow.
You know, and that...
What a response.
Yeah.
That's a creative response.
Basically,
always
thanks
works.
for saying what you said, because I've made a banger.
Yeah, we're just going to go and see the deal in just a minute. So
Yeah.
see you on the other side.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because I always say it in my shows, and sometimes I get like a, and then sometimes I get like 3 people going, yeah. But it's like, it's a bit touch and go, but I'll just maintain it. I'll still keep saying it. But I always say, like, there's 2 things that changed my life, and it was stopping drinking and praying every day, you know, because I was really going down a dark road with it all, and I was really lost, and I was really like just at the my wit's end with it, and you know, yeah. Once I finally made that choice and made that decision, like I moved to Brighton, I changed my number, you know, I started again, like I fully started again, and when I really implemented that and I started nurturing my soul, you know, and giving thanks every day and praying before I eat, and just little things that just like make you feel like you're
Complete.
Yeah, like you're showing gratitude for every day, you know. It really makes a difference. And you know, I'm definitely not the full ticket. I was having this conversation with Barry from Dub Pistols, like, you know, I don't think any musician or creative person is ever going to be the full ticket.
No.
But I'm definitely like a definite like better place than ever before, like right now in my headspace, because even though there are things going on, you know, you can deal with them a lot better when your head is clear. But like when things were going on and
All getting on
I
top.
wasn't taking care of myself, it just becomes you just can't take it, basically. You can't take it anymore.
And you hit rocks, and you hit
Yeah.
And also I think like, I mean, you know, I like a drink like the rest of them. But you know when you're rattling too much.
Yeah.
And people can feel when you're rattling too much.
Yeah. Yeah, and do you know what? For me, my main thing was like I was just so sick and tired of not enjoying my nights out because the anxiety of after I went out was
fear.
so crazy that it just become like
life.
Pointless
Yeah.
going out because I'm like, that was not even worth it.
Yeah.
Because I've had 5 days of feeling like so depressed that I'm just like, what was
But you had
point?
fun, didn't you? No, I didn't. I didn't even
No,
have fun.
I didn't even have
in the
fun. I
company of
wanted
my
to
own
go home.
self. It was not fun.
Yeah, no, and you know, again, each their own. Some people can handle it, and some people, you know, have never gone to that place. You know, they've never gone so far down the rabbit hole of destruction. So
their
they
constitution can take. Their constitution can take it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Until it can't.
Yeah, exactly. So I just definitely was someone that that went too far and hit the edge and jumped down, and then luckily swam to the shore. Yeah.
It's a public service announcement from Fyah, yeah? You know what to do if you're doing it wrong. You know how to fix it. And it also includes playing some of the heavy hitters that are about to ensue on you.
Yeah.
Fyah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for it. I feel like this is only... But of course it is. It's only the first of many chapters of Life and Times. But I certainly appreciate you spending time with us and having a chat. It's been awesome.
It's been amazing. And, like, you know, for me, my message and my purpose is definitely so that people resonate with what I have to say, to know that they're not alone, you know, because, and I know that might sound cliche, but ultimately a lot of the time when I've done a show with Jesse or done a show generally, you know, I'm working with DJ Maya as well at the moment and Savannah, and there's a bunch of different artists that are on board. But after the set, you know, when I get these messages from people just like, wow, like sometimes it's I was sober that night and it was really nice to hear you say that because it made me feel seen. Or another thing would be like, I really respect you for talking about, you know, I need to just go for my dreams. And guess what? They'll send me screenshots of something that they've done in order to take what I've said and implement it in their lives and things like that.
God,
and
that's
so for
sick.
me, I've like won at life. Good, like just for those moments.
Yeah. That's
like,
beautiful.
Yeah, because that's the real blessing in it all.
See? That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Keeping an open mind, keeping those lines of communication open.
And never stopping.
No.
Never stopping.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Keep going.
I think that's a sentiment that we all should share.
Yeah.
Kaya, big up yourself, girl.
Yeah, thank you. Fire starters.
Killa Kela podcast out like it was out of fashion, or it is. Sharing is care. Remember, crime don't pay, but neither do they. Don't talk to an I wouldn't. You stay lucky, people. Peace. Yeah.